Hello and welcome. This is going to be our lecture video for September 30th and October 1st. For this lecture, we're going to be filling out a step-by-step binder on how to solve one-step equations. You can easily do this on just a scrap piece of paper and then put it into your step-by-step binder. But if you really want this sheet, it's posted on my extra stuff calendar. You could download it and print it off and then take the notes exactly like how I do. Either way, you're going to want to 3-hole punch it and put it into that step-by-step binder when you're done, because as a reminder, we can use these to help us on tests and quizzes. Okay, so step 1 of solving any one-step equation. There's going to be multiple steps to solving a one-step equation, I know, a little ironic. Okay, so we need to identify what is being done to the variable. All right, so the variable could be on either side of the equal sign. I'm trying to figure out what is being done to it. In example number 1, it's being subtracted by 13. In step 2, we want to pick the correct inverse operation. So this is our vocab word for the day, inverse operation. We want to pick the correct inverse operation to undo what is being done to the variable. All right, and let's create a little key for ourselves of possible inverse operations. So if I see addition, I'm going to use subtraction. So this here, this is the inverse operation. All right, if I see subtraction, I'm going to get rid of it with addition. So these two are inverses of one another. You get rid of addition with subtraction, you get rid of subtraction with addition. Now there's another pair. If I see anything that's being multiplied, the inverse operation will be division. So how do you get rid of a times 2? Well, you divide by 2, and vice versa. The inverse operation of division, I guess I should keep this in the same tense. I'll say divide. You're going to multiply. You don't have to change yours, but I want to keep mine in the same tense. So add, subtract, subtract, add, multiply, divide, divide, multiply. All right, and those are our basic inverse operations. There are others because there's other operations out there, but these are the ones that we have to know for one-step equations. All right, and then step 3. So this is kind of the golden rule of all of solving equations. Whatever you do on one side of the equal sign, you do on the other. So if I add 3 to one side, you gotta add 3 to the other. This is what keeps it balanced. So let me read that one more time. Whatever you do on one side of the equal sign, you do on the other. All right, and then step 4, once the variable is isolated, and that means by itself on one side of the equal sign, once the variable is isolated with a value, like a number, on the other side, box your answer. So you box the whole equation, variable and everything. And that is your answer. Okay, let's apply these steps to problem number 1 here. So I want to, first I look what is being done to my variable v. It's being subtracted by 13. I say, what's the inverse operation of subtraction? Well, it's addition. So I get rid of a minus 13 with a plus 13. I'm doing that to the left-hand side, so I have to do that to the right-hand side. Now that the negative 13 and the positive 13 cancel out, and I'm left with just a v on the left side, and the negative 6 can combine with the 13 and become a positive 7. Negative 6 plus 13 is 7. My variable is isolated on one side of the equal sign with a number on the other side. This is my answer. I put a box around it. Let's look at problem number 2. M plus 14 equals 0. So m is being added by 14. The inverse operation is subtraction, so I subtract 14 from over here. I have to do that over here as well. Now I get m equals negative 14. Variable is isolated, number on the other side. Box your answer. Next one. What is happening to k? K is being divided by 6. How do I get rid of a divide by 6? I need to multiply it by 6. So the divide by 6 and the multiply by 6 will cancel out. I'll be left with just a k. But if I do that to the left side, I have to do it to the right side. All right, you can show that these cancel each other out if you want by crossing them out. I don't always do that, but it's a good way to show your work. K equals negative 10 times 6. We can complete that. That becomes a negative 60. Variable is isolated, so box around it. All right. Number 4. What is happening to v here? We don't see an operation, but we know there's something there. It has to be multiplication. Anytime you have a number next to a variable, it is multiplication. The inverse operation of multiplication is division. I show that with a fraction line. And I need to divide both sides by negative 13. So I'll get this negative 13 away from the v, and the v will be isolated. It'll be on the right-hand side. That's okay. It can be on either side. I'll move it back to the left, but here, let's finish this. 26 divided by negative 13, that's a negative 2 equals v. This is basically done, but I like to switch around v equals negative 2 before I put a box around it. All right, and the last thing we need to talk about is how to double check. You double check by plugging your answer back in and seeing if the equation balances. So I can take this v equals negative 2, I can plug it back in here, and now I've got the equation 26 equals negative 13 times negative 2. This can be combined to be a 26. We get 26 equals 26. That's our double check. That 6 look better. That's our double check. It balanced, so this was the correct answer. Okay, that'll be that for this video. Have a good rest of your day.